Alright, so today we're going to be talking about whether or not evolution anticipates needs. And to understand that, first we have to talk about the theory of evolution. And that is that all living species of organisms arise through natural selection of inherited variations that increase the individual's ability to compete, survive, and reproduce. So for natural selection to occur, you have to have a couple of things. So for natural selection to occur, the things you have to have are phenotypic variation, a differential reproduction with respect to that phenotypic variation, and this variation must be heritable, so it has to be able to be passed on from parents to their offspring. So here in this figure, we can see that there's phenotypic variation, there's heredity, so there's variation can be passed on, and there's differential reproduction with respect to that variation. Now these variations in the population have to affect fitness in order for natural selection to act upon them. So here in this example, we see that some of these beetles are green, some of these beetles are brown, and that this is a trait encoded by a gene or various genes, and that there's differential reproduction. So here these beetles live what looks like on a tree bark. The tree bark is brown, so the brown beetles blend in better. These green beetles stick out. The predator is going to exert a selective pressure. It's going to eat eat the green ones more often than it's going to eat the brown ones. That means that there's going to be more brown beetles in the population to reproduce and produce offspring than the green beetles. So this population is going to shift to a more brown beetle population than a green beetle population. So now to get to the question, does evolution anticipate needs? The quick answer is no, it does not. Evolution is a reactive process and therefore does not anticipate needs. Just like in the previous example, we saw that the population didn't shift to more brown beetles until there was a selective pressure. So the brown beetles didn't think, oh well, they'll probably eat the green ones, let's not mate with them. That's not what happens. There has to be a selective pressure. And here, this example is one of bacteria with antibiotic resistance genes in the darker red ones, and antibiotic sensitive strains in the yellow and orange ones. So in this example, there's some sensitive strains before selection, an antibiotic is added. This kills some of these bacteria off, these resistant strains, and now we have a population, albeit small, that is antibiotic resistant. So this antibiotic was a selective pressure. Now you go on to have a resistant population. They mate, they conjugate, and they exchange genes sometimes. And how bacteria produces binary fission, so they just split in half, and we have this final population that is now way more resistant to antibiotics than the previous population. So the population didn't change until there was a selective pressure. Evolution does not anticipate needs. There has to be a selective pressure acting on a population for evolution to occur.